Hello and welcome to one-sided limits. So the idea here is not all functions appear to be approaching the same place, coming from the left and from the right. So not all functions approach, oops, the same point. Depending which side we come from. Or which side we look at. So if we look at the graph, here, if we come from the left side, as we make our way in, it appears we're, say, approaching 1 for our y value, versus as we come from the right, it appears we're approaching, say, 3. So in this case, we don't have a limit because the two sides are going to something else or something different. So we have a left limit and a right limit. So in terms of notation, coming from the left side, we're coming from the negative end of the number line. So our notation, we take the limit as x approaches c, and then we just put a little negative sign as where we would usually put a power of f of x. And then for the right limit, we do the limit as x approaches c coming from the positive side. So we put a positive sign where we would usually put an exponent of f of x. So this is the limit as we approach from the left and the limit as we approach from the right. So let's just look at a piecewise function that I have graphed. So here we have just a bunch of straight line segments going up and down. And we're supposed to find a variety of limits. So the first one, as we're looking at c equals -1. So at -1, we're looking here. And then we want to look a negative tells us that we're approaching from the negative side of the number line. We're coming from the left. So coming from the left, as x goes into -1, as we trace the graph, it looks like our y value is going to 2. Then if we wanted to come from the right, coming from the right, as x goes to -1, here, it looks like our y value is approaching 3. So again, we're coming from the right, going to -1, and the value we were approaching is 3. So now let's go at, we're going to 2. So coming to 2, here's our 2. The first one, we're looking from the left side. So coming from the left side of the number line, tracing the graph, it looks like the y value we are approaching is 0. And then next one, approaching 2, this time we're going to come from the positive side of the number line, coming from the right. We start above 2, work our way backwards. And the y value we are approaching appears to be -2. So this is a left and right side limit. We usually use these for piecewise functions, where we have the function is defined differently depending on what side of our specified target we are looking at. So again, here we have just found a series of one-sided limits.